Hey Gary, thanks for the question the other day about the difference between a Stinger, or I think your question was, what is the advantage of the bigger 9 car with the car out over the hood? Um, I've never operated a Stinger rig. I have dispatched for them and I've spent some time around them. But I'm going to do my best to answer with the knowledge that I have. Uh, So recently, the federal government passed what's called the FAST Act. The FAST Act gives stingers basically a nationwide 80-foot rule or 80-foot length of the rig with 85 feet total, counting your overhang off the front and the back. That's my understanding of it. Now, if I'm wrong on that and somebody knows a little bit better, drop a comment and correct me, please. So the federal government recognizes what's called a center steer or stinger rig as being a car hauler, and I'm not one, apparently. I guess I'm a goat or something, but the federal government does not recognize me as being a car hauler because I am a high mount fifth wheel. It means the fifth wheel hitch is mounted up on top of my rear suspension rather than down close to the ground behind it. So the other requirement is that the truck itself must carry part of the load. And since my truck doesn't carry anything but me and Paperwork Princess and all of our junk, then we don't fall under the FAST Act. Now, from a practical standpoint, a major advantage that a Stinger rig has, or even if it's not a Stinger rig, but a high rail, high mount trailer, is that the decks are individually controlled. They're not tied to another deck, so you have infinite control over your ability to really pack your load together truly like a jigsaw puzzle. That's why you can get 9-10 cars on a Stinger rig, whereas you can't get those on a standard high mount. Now, let me qualify that by saying you can get 9 or 10 cars on a Stinger that can be a little bit larger than what we can get on our 9-car high mount Cottrell. So we have one in our fleet right now. It's a 9-car. It's what's called a 5309. Means 53 feet long, and it's a 9-car. That's Cottrell's way of identifying their models. They've got, I think it's a 5304 or a 4804. More like a wedge trailer, except on the front there's a flip-up deck. So anyway, that's how they designate the models for their trailers. The first 2 digits are the length. The second 2 digits are how many vehicles that trailer can haul. So our 5309, we can and have put 9 units on there. Not all of them were really small, and we were not overweight, despite some people that swear you will never ever be able to put 9 cars on one of those, and even if you did, they would all be Volkswagen Bug sized cars. Well, that's just not true. What is true about it, though, is in order to put the 9 units on it, it's a lot more work moving the decks around and fitting the cars in, and you do have to be careful about the overall weight on your trailer axles, no matter what size trailer you're pulling. With the Stinger rig and the individual adjustable decks, you can put more larger units on that trailer than you can on a high mount pull behind. So that is a significant advantage. What I would consider to be a significant disadvantage is you're much more likely to high center your trailer. I wouldn't worry nearly as much about that. As for me personally, I like my creature comforts. That's why I got the big condo sleeper truck. The Stinger rig, you can't even stand up in it to get dressed. There's no room for anything comfort-wise. You're basically sleeping in an oversized coffin. If you don't mind that, then they can be great rigs. Nothing else is coming to mind at the moment as far as any sort of significant advantage other than what I've already mentioned. If any of you guys out there are Stinger operators and I've missed something, please let me know what it is. I'm always open to learn. Personally, I like my 7-car. I like my high mount. I like a larger sleeper truck. But it's just like Ford and Chevy. You're free to like what you like. There's no right or wrong necessarily with it. I will say that if you get into moving new units, multi-unit loads where they're one pick, one drop, or one pick, multiple drops, whatever it is, but let's just say coming from a factory where you're able to pick up full loads in one place and distribute them out to dealers, the Stinger rig is a great way to go. You can move a lot of units, you can move them fairly quickly, and those guys can make really good money. It's not for me. I tend to be, I guess I'm a little bit more of a cowboy. I just like to get out and see the country a little bit. I don't like running the same route every day back and forth. I just like seeing new people, new faces. Even if I run the same road it was 2 months ago. Some people love that, I guess, being in a box where they kind of know exactly how to plan, what their schedule is, when they're picking, when they're dropping, running the same roads all the time. They get used to the same gas stations, the same clerks checking them out at the register, dealing with the same people at the same delivery and pickup locations. To some people, that's what they look for, and I'm glad they're out there because somebody has to do that. It's just not me. Hope that helps. And like I said, if I have missed anything, any advantages or disadvantages to a Stinger, somebody drop a comment, let me know. I appreciate any interaction that I get, whether it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I do always appreciate if you give me a thumbs down, let me know what it is that I said wrong, or if you just simply didn't like the look of my nose. I don't care, you're not gonna hurt my feelings, but I would like to know what it is so I can improve on this channel. And I appreciate everybody that subscribes and shares these videos with your friends. Just really appreciate the interaction. Y'all have a good one. I'm gonna hit the sack.